One of the questions we get asked a lot from young adults or even parents of young adults is, when should I or my kids start investing? Well, as is the case with many questions in the financial world, the answer is, kind of depends. However, there are some indicators you can look at that may help answer the question for you, so let's unpack it a bit. We're going to talk through both the when and the how questions as they pertain to getting started investing. First, let's look at the when. Like many things in life, the secret to getting ahead is oftentimes just getting started. So one of the things we like to encourage people to do is ask the question, is what I'm doing today getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow? If the answer is yes, maybe you're on the right path. If the answer is no, maybe it's time for a little introspection. Every situation's different, but here's some general things to kind of think through. Number one, do you have a budget? This is really a cash flow question. Do you have enough money to cover your basic necessities every month? If the cash flow is a struggle, maybe it's not time to start investing. So maybe we should look for ways to either increase income or decrease expenses. If cash flow is good, the next question is then, do you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up as an emergency fund? This really should be cash on hand at the bank and ready for when you may need it. Finally, have you paid down your debt? The age-old question of whether to pay debt first and then invest or vice versa is a whole nother topic that we're not going to dive into today. So we got to balance the math and the emotions when it comes to those decisions. But for today, let's just say we have our debt under control. Then the next step's getting started, and that's the key. Let's look at one quick example. All right, so as we go through this example, obviously remember that none of this is guaranteed. We're going through projection numbers, so these numbers aren't guaranteed. It's not something that you for sure are going to get, but what I want to show you is just the power in getting started. So let's say we've saved up to $150 and we're looking to do something with it, and additionally, we feel like we can do $150 a month into the account to save additional money. Let's say we're going to get an 8% return on those dollars, and let's assume we're starting when we're 35 and we're going to retire at age 65, so that's going to give us 30 years to let that money grow. Let's see what that does for us. So that's kind of what the number would look like if obviously all this played out perfectly well. Again, not guaranteed, but that's what that number would look like. Now, let's say that instead of starting at 35 and going to age 65, we didn't start until we were age 40, and we only gave ourselves 25 years to let that money grow. That's what that number looks like. So just an interesting example of the power of getting started and how 5 years can truly make a difference when you're getting started investing. All right, let's say you're all set with the cash flow, emergency fund, and debt, and you're ready to start investing. What should you do? Again, each situation's different, but here's some general rules of thumb to consider. Number one, maximize the match in your employer-based plan. That could be your 401k, your 403b, your simple, and many other plans. But if you have one and you're eligible, the match is an extremely powerful savings tool. You can put money in, and then a lot of times the company is going to put more money in on your behalf. So you need to be taking advantage of this. Number two, if the budget allows, your next step to consider should be maxing out your Roth IRA. A Roth is another powerful savings tool. You can put in after-tax money, but the money grows tax-free and can often be taken out tax-free after age 59 and a half. Number three, if you're maximizing your match in your work plan and you're maxing out your Roth, you're putting yourself on a really good path. After that point, there are many other options out there in terms of types of accounts and other opportunities for investing, but they get really situation specific, so we're going to leave it here for now. Again, getting started is the hardest but most important part. Remember to ask yourself the question, is what I'm doing today getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow? That really should drive you to take advantage of each day and do what's necessary to try and accomplish your goals. We're here for you every step of the way. It really doesn't matter what part of the spectrum you fall on. Maybe you've never invested a dime in your life and are wondering if you should get started. We want to meet with you. Or perhaps you're maxing out all your retirement vehicles and you still have more discretionary income you want to put to work, but just aren't really sure how or what sort of vehicle to use. We want to talk with you as well. Wherever you're at on your journey, give us a shout and we can't wait to talk with you.